Hi, welcome to Clarity Design. We're just going to take a quick look to get you started on Inventor Professional 2016 from Autodesk. There are tutorials that are at the start of the program. They take you through how to use the program really nicely, and it pretty much tells you everything you need to know. This is kind of like a quick start guide, just in case you're in one of my lessons and you want to get started fairly sharply. If you want to get hold of this software, it's available for download as a student at home. You can see I'm running the student version here at the moment. And if you Google Autodesk Student, you'll get to this site. And once you get onto that, you can sign up as a user, and it will allow you to download the software. And you'll be able to use it at home, learn how to use it really well, and get some really good grades for the products that you start producing in it. So there's four parts, or four different types of file that are available in Inventor. A part, an assembly, a drawing, and a presentation. The part is where you do most of the hard work or the heavy lifting. The assembly holds them all together, like this one here. So here's a part, here's an assembly. So these are the different extensions that you're looking at. And then there's a drawing, which allows you to make a two-dimensional drawing from the file, and also a presentation, which allows you to animate and check the functionality of a product, and also add some nice textures and stuff for presentation purposes. So make little animation videos and stuff. So it's quite good fun. However, most of the work's done in part and assembly. And to begin with, you'll probably just be doing a single part object rather than assembling them together. And once you've got to grips with this and you understand kind of the basics of it, you'll be flying, and it won't be any problem at all. So we're going to start with part. Now when we start up a part for the first time, we're going to go and we're going to find a nice place to save it. We want to save it into a folder where we've got all the parts that are going to be held together. So you can see that all the different parts of this hand that I made, they're all saved in the same location. So we're going to call this part to try, so that I don't save over anything, and I'm going to click save. So I've saved it off ready, so this means now it can be auto saving in the background, and if I just want to save some progress, I click save. It can crash from time to time, so we don't want to lose any work. Now the way that this software works is you use planes to see to draw drawings on, and then from those drawings you extrude them into 3 dimensions in various different ways. Okay, so let's do a couple of basic sketches. So the first thing I do is I'm going to click start a sketch. It's going to show me the 3 planes that we have in the scene automatically, and I'm going to click this ground plane here, okay, this XZ plane, and then immediately you can see here that it says it's in inches, so I'm going to change that. So let's just cross this. Let's just go to Tools, Document Settings. This is a default thing that you have to change every time, centimeter, and then Apply, Close, and that way we should now be in centimeters. So I'm going to create a sketch, start sketch. I'm going to create it on that plane. It's spun me around and put me on the appropriate view for it, and it's given me the drawing tools, which is on the sketch panel here. You can see we've got circles and such like. Now as I'm dragging it out, if I stop and let go, I can actually type the size that I want, so I can get something specific in there. Now if I do that, I get this, which is a constraint. If I draw it differently, if I just draw it by sight, okay, there's no constraints. That's this thing here. There's no dimension tool. So I can click on this afterwards, and I can actually say I want to tell you that dimension, and I want that dimension to be the same as the other one. Okay, so we've now got 2 circles here. Now just using those 2 circles, I'm going to finish this sketch, a very simple sketch. I'm going to finish that, and immediately I'm going to go across into 3D model, and I can start playing around with some of these things here. So we can revolve things, or we can extrude. Let's just revolve this for a second. So we haven't got a profile. Let's do it by an angle of 90, direction 1, axis. So I need an axis line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of that, and I'm going to go back into my sketch. So I'm going to go and find the sketch, and I can edit that sketch. So I can go back into it and I can edit it, and I'm going to draw a line here, and this line I'm going to turn into a construction line. Okay, just finish that off with a return, and I'm just going to turn that into a construction, hopefully. So let's just right click OK, select that line, and then turn it into a construction. That's better. So we can clearly see that these are sketches that I'm going to use, and this is a construction line that's only going to be used for a profile. You'll see what that means in a second. So I'm going to finish that sketch, and then I'm going to go to revolve again, and this time I'm going to select the profile, which is here, and then the axis I'm going to select, which is here. Alright, and immediately it says it's going to do a full rotation. I can do it by a certain amount or a full rotation. Let's do an odd amount, like 30 degrees. That'll do OK for now. Click OK. So I've got my first three-dimensional object that I've generated from a two-dimensional sketch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that top face, and if I go to start new sketch, it's going to make a new plane on that, and on that plane it's placed a sketch, and now I can draw again, and this time I'm going to draw with a line tool. So I'm drawing flat on the surface. Okay, now I've got to make sure that whatever shape I draw, even if it's an irregular shape, it's got a closed loop if I'm going to make it 3 dimensions. You can see at the top here, that's just gone slightly awry, and it's not closed that shape off. So I'm just going to do that again. So I'm going to pick up the line, and I can pick a point here and a point here, so that I know that it's a closed loop there. Finish sketch, and this time we'll do a simple extrusion, so we can extrude that out. And again, I can change all of the dimensions here, and you can play around with these options as much as you like until you are happy. Click a tick button, and I'm there. Along with this, once I've done that, I get to chamfer edges. I can also go on to fillets, so I can make smooth edges. And we can play around with shapes to make them nice and smooth. So now I've got 2 shapes here that I might want to make into a part. So I'm ready. Sorry, so we've got 2 shapes here that are a part that we might want to make into an assembly. So I'm going to make sure that's saved, and I can go back out of here, and I can go new, and I can go assembly. All right, I'm going to start putting these together. Now, at this point, we can place objects, we can create objects, whichever we want to do. I'm going to let you guys experiment. This is slightly more advanced when you start doing this. If we go back to the other, so if we go back to this one, this is the part that I would save as an STL to print on a 3D printer. I wouldn't print an assembly, I'd always print each part separately. So to do that, I need to export it as a CAD file format, and then I would save that as an STL. Okay, cool. They will look like little certificates, and it's this file, I'm not going to save it now, but it's this file that you would take across to a 3D printer. Now there's loads and loads of functionality in here. All of it is driven by dimensions and constraints, and most of those are put on your sketches. You'll notice down here, this is the hierarchy that I've been building, and I can go into these and I can lock them up, or I can edit them. So on a right click, I can edit the sketches, I can edit the features. I'm always able to go back and change what I've done and to make improvements, okay, and to try things out. So you need to explore this and not worry too much about getting something wrong, but just give it a go, and if it does go wrong, save it as a different file type, or undo it, or even delete the part that you aren't happy with, or the extrusion that you're not happy with, and it will take it back to the previous stage. Okay, I hope that helps you get started, and enjoy building your first 3D model that we're going to 3D print. All the best.